Now we're going to do a progressive level program using the magic circle. So roll out your mat and grab yourself a magic circle. Suzanne's going to be participating in the class with you, so you're both in it together with this lovely challenging program that we have put together. So first of all, let's lie down on your back for me, finding your neutral positioning. And just have the magic circle beside you for the time being. Yeah, just resting your arms down by your sides. So let's make sure that the feet are just in front of the knees. And that's it, beautiful. And we're just getting awareness of that neutral pelvis alignment. Hip bones and pubic bone level with the floor, like there's a string on your tailbone slightly sliding down through the ground into the center of the earth. Eye gaze up to the ceiling. And just start with some breath here. So take a breath in through the nose and an exhale through the nose. And again, inhale through the nose and an exhale through the nose. Just really feeling like that breath can find every corner of your trunk, right up into the top lobes of the lungs, up above the collarbones, right down into the lower lobes of the lungs. Let's take 2 more breaths here, just feeling an even length on the 2 sides of your waist. Just give that right sitting bone a little extra length there, so that's it, and uplift through the armpits. Now kick up the magic circle and just place it above the chest, elbows bent out wide. So the circle is just hovered over the top of the chest there, ready for a Peck Press position. So feel almost like a diagonal reach out through the elbow points, the armpits facing towards each other. Let's inhale, prepare, and exhale to press onto that magic circle. Inhale, expand it open, and exhale to press. And I really like to think about the magic circle here almost being a second pair of lungs. And can you breathe the closure of the circle? But also can you breathe and expand the circle when it opens up as well? Good job. So just feeling like the wrap of the shoulder blades coming around the ribs, circling around the ribs and out through the elbow points, allows you to get even better awareness of where your rib cage is placed relative to your pelvis in that neutral position. Last one. And let's now extend the 2 arms straight up. Same thing here, but with long arms now. Let's exhale and press. And inhale, release. Exhale and press. And it's very tempting to really push out through your elbows, but can you imagine a slight slackening in the elbows so that there is feedback that runs from your palm into the back of the shoulder joint? So can you feel as if the narrowing of the magic circle comes from a narrowing of your arm bones towards each other and the top of the thigh bones. Last 2 little squeezes there, and I will barely see the circle move. It's certainly not about how much closure you get. Last one. Hold the arms in that position, ready for your pelvic curl. Breath in and breath out. Let's imprint and roll the spine up into that bridge position. Inhale at the top and exhale to roll down. Beautiful. Keep that going, feeling the imprint coming from the side of the hip joint, allowing the spine to really roll into that lumbar flexion. Beautiful. Reaching the knees forward over the shins and down into the front of the ankle joint. And using the magic circle here to really give you feedback for your shoulders, keeping almost like a frame the whole time of the circle, arms, shoulders, and back, and how that can all be involved in that closed chain. Let's take 1 more repetition of our pelvic curl. So we're not pressing onto the circle here, we're just holding that shape. Good. And let's roll up to the top on this last one and stay there. Breathing in. On the exhale, can you draw your sitting bones into the back of the thighs even more? Inhale again. Exhale, can you draw the sitting bones into the back of the thighs and also press into the circle just a touch? 1 more breath there, just holding an inhale Number 2, breath in to prepare. Breathe out, chest lift up. Reaching the circle toward the knees. Inhale to lower and exhale to curl. So the lovely thing about the circle in this chest lift is it gives you somewhere for your body to aim for. So we want to try and tumble the body weight forward in that curl, up over the pelvis and the thighs. And the circle reach can really help you to do that. So feel as if the shoulder blades come around the ribs and out through the halo of that circle, but caution that you don't push back through your thoracic spine. Instead, get that feeling of your body being long at the back ribs and coming up and over like a wave. Last 3 there, just starting to warm and enjoy the feeling of the spinal flexion. Good job. Last 2. Here's our last one. We're going to stay forward in that chest lift. Let's bring our right leg and our left leg up to tabletop and place the circle inside the knees there. So this is where we're having our circle handles just above the knees at the base of the thighs. Separate the feet and the knees so that they are in line with each other, shins parallel to the floor. And then lower yourself back down out of the chest lift, arms down by your sides for your supine number 1. Breath in. You just breathe out and you energize the top of the thighs, close. And exhale to press. Inhale to release. So can you almost imagine closing over 3 counts and opening over 3 counts? So we're really even in our squeeze. And the squeeze feels like a melting closure of magnets all the way down from the top of the legs, down past the circle toward the ankles. So it's certainly not just about your knees. Last 2, very challenging to maintain neutral pelvis and neutral trunk alignment here. So feel as if the connection between ribs and hips remains the same. Press the back of the arms. Last time there. Let the circle come just nicely open, not too much of a squeeze. Arms are definitely 45 degrees away or full T for the spine twist supine now. Inhale, rotate from the waistline to take the legs to the right. And exhale, come back to the center. Good job. So the magic circle really adds more challenge here because of how wide the legs are and the need to maintain that closure and connection right from the top of the thigh bones. Yes, beautiful. So try not to grip the circle, but feel like it just assists you to find your center line as much as possible. Good job. So let's do last one to the left. I feel like we're right. Keep the back of the shoulders anchored. Keep the legs where they are at that tabletop. Let's reach the 2 arms back overhead, ready for your 100, keeping the circle in the knees. You exhale, you come forward, and you start to pump. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, and exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. So again, feeling like the circle gives you feedback, but doesn't cause you to grip and really focus too much on squishing your knees together. Let the breath really expand down through the tail, up through the sternum, through the back of the head, and see if you can curl yourself forward just that little deeper. So aim your chest forward through the shape and the window of your legs. Let's take 3 more breaths there. That should be starting to be very challenging. And last 2, let's pretend we've got 3 other magic circles. 1 at the groin, 1 at the knees, 1 at the ankle, 1 at the hands. And lower your head back down, reach your arms overhead. Do 1 more chest lift, come up and put the magic circle into your palms. So curl forward, take into your palms, that's it. Tuck your toes along the mat, slide yourself all the way out long, ready for a roll up. Okay, flex your feet and get a good reach on the heels. Only take your arms back as far as you're able to feel the draw of the rib cage in line with the pelvis. Lovely. Inhale, chest lift, reaching forward. Exhale, curl up and over. Inhale to reach, keep the arms up nice and high, the back of the head high. And exhale to pivot from the hip joints to come back to the mat. Lovely. So keep that going. So the circle here allows again the connection of the palm into the back of the shoulder joint. So you can really feel that your arms are plugged into the shoulders and and give you more freedom and uplift to curl up and over through that lower spine. Yeah, lovely. So we're certainly not pressing the circle firmly at all here, we're just holding it and using it to give you some awareness again, all the way up through the center line, ankles, knees, top of the thighs, plugging up into the base of the ribs, out through the head. This is our last time here, everybody. And rolling gently back to the mat, keeping that anchor of the thighs down. Put the circle to one side. Good. Float the right leg up to the ceiling, ready for your leg circles. So you can have your arms away from your body here to stabilize. Let's inhale, take the leg across the body, around and up. Exhale, across the body, round and up. So just feeling as if you're really able to get an oily circumduction of that thigh bone, really stirring a pot inside your hip joint, and your opposite leg suctioning gently down into the mat. Reverse, open out to the side, around and up. So well done. You may not have quite as much range in your hip as Susie, and you want to work on that hip disassociation, but also don't wait for the hip to be too perfect. Try and at least explore the corners of the range of your circumduction. Well done. Let's do the other side now. So across the body, down, around and up. And at progressive level, you really assume that your clients have done these exercises before. The transitions are nice and fluid. Last time, reverse the direction here now. Out to the side, down, around and up. Good. So feeling a sensation of width across the back and down through the back of the shoulders without the rib cage popping forward. Last time, press that leg down, hug the two knees into the chest for rolling, hold the ankles, curl forward into chest lift, and find that really tight ball shape. Start breathing and seeing if you can rock yourself up to seated. Good, and then you can just roll back to the shoulder blades each time. So imagine that you're curling forward so deeply in your spine that your body weight of your trunk is resting forward onto your legs and pelvis. Keep the heels tucked in nice and snug to your bottom and create a broad shape out through your elbows that feels like you're wearing a cape on your back. Last two there. And then stay seated. We're going to pick up the magic circle for a side reach variation. So Susie will spin around so she's facing you. Let's do it today with crossed legs, but you could certainly do it with a Z sit as well. The circle comes out with an outstretched arm, palm facing down to the floor. We inhale to take the left arm out to the side, exhale and then press up and over. Inhale to come out and up again. And then exhale, turn the palm to the ceiling and side press over. Good. So you might have to experiment with how far away that magic circle is from you. Yeah, and you can see that Susie's decided to take it a touch further away. Otherwise, the arm was having to bend too much. So you press gently onto the circle as you side bend over. And the pressure down into the circle should help you uplift through the two sides of the waist and the fingertips to give you more sense of length, more freedom to side bend and cascade over. Keeping the back of the head, the back of the ribs, the pelvis lined up. Here's our last one. Really good. And let's come back up and switch it over to the opposite side there. Okay, so figure out how far away you need that circle. Keep the palm outstretched on the handle. Turn the right hand to the ceiling and side bend on that exhale. And inhale to come back up. Beautiful. So you want to really get that lovely glide of your top shoulder blade coming around your rib cage and outstretching through the fingertips, almost like you're trying to suck the top of your arm bone right up close to your side of your face as you go Last 2 there. Trying to keep nice and square through the hips and the shoulders, not being too tempted to rotate down to the ground with that chest. Lovely. Take the circle back into the palms. Susie's going to spin around to face me. Keep your distance apart, sitting up tall, ready to roll back for some abdominal work. So arms outstretched in front of you, magic circle in the palms again, breathing in and breathing out. Let's roll back. Keep thinking of taking your body weight forward through the circle as your hips take you back all the way. Yes, good. And let's bring both legs tabletop. And then chest lift up for me to prepare for a single leg stretch here. And exhale, one leg goes away, other leg goes away. So we're using that reach again off the magic circle to help give your body somewhere to aim. A lovely up and over sensation. And the leg that comes in towards you each time no longer has that hand and arm to help tug it in close to you. So really pull that leg in and in as the other leg goes out further and out further. So pushing and pulling the 2 legs in opposite directions. One more set. Once you're equal, both knees in and find a really deep, lovely ball. Double leg stretch. Inhale, stretch 2 arms, 2 legs. Exhale, come in. Inhale, 2 arms, 2 legs. Exhale, come in. So we're eliminating the arm circle portion of the exercise, but challenging how far back those arms can go while you reach forward. Gorgeous. Last time, that should be working strongly. Now the crisscross. So we take the circle to the opposite, the outside of the bent knee. Sorry, Susie. Yeah, there you go. And then switch. So what Susie did was not wrong, and we'll sometimes use that variation instead. This one would be the easier one because it gives us more of that cross sling over towards our bent leg, whereas the other direction is more of an open diagonal. Well done. So see if that rotation of the circle and the reach of the circle to the outside of the knee helps you to really turn the chest and at the same time pull your bent leg into your midline. Good. Even yourself up there. We're nearly through this sequence. And then hamstring pull. The circle to the ceiling. Pull, pull. Pull, pull. So Susie's unlucky. She's very flexible in her legs. So her arms have to be quite far back. And her leg is aiming to kick towards the circle whilst she maintains her very deep forward curl of her spine. Very challenging stuff. So keep that closed chain feeling of palms into back of shoulders and forward bend your spine deeper through your lower back. Once you're even there, let's hug both of your knees into your chest. Roll like a ball to come up. Stretch your 2 legs out. Shoulder width apart and flip your magic circle so it sits upright on the floor for your spine stretch now. So the circle handles are stacked one on top of the other. The arms are outstretched and palms side by side on your handle. Let's inhale to grow taller up out of that position. Exhale, let's get up and over with the spine as you gently press down into the circle when you curl. So if you're flexible in your hamstrings, this will feel very different because it's more that down press to lift the spine up and then sitting upright on the exhalation. Inhale and then exhale. Feel the down draw of the circle. Give you the decompression and up draw and forward curl of the spine that way. So it just really gives you a different sensation of feedback of how you can feel the centering of your body to give you that length. So stretch the 2 sides of the waist and then really feel the back of the ribs. Lift off the back of your hips to press down into the circle. Well done. Trying to keep the arm bones at the same time plugged into the back of the shoulders, and you can work on turning out the top of your arms, feeling all of the knuckles of the palms gently pressuring into the circle to push it down. Good. That was our last one there. Let's pick up the circle back into the palms for me. Good. Bring the legs together. Excellent. challenging position to have the circle. We could certainly have it in front of the chest if that was a little too hard. Exhale now and rotate with a pulse breath back to the center. And pulse, pulse. So it's harder here because we've eliminated the momentum of the arms assisting the spinal rotation. Your arms are closer to your midline. You should feel like it really makes you focus on how much pure spinal rotation you're able to feel. Feel the top of the legs gather together to give you that uplift. And again, the circle is somewhere for your body to aim. Can you feel the length through your sternum, through your crown, up through the circle, and at the same time your sitting bones are grounding? Well done. One more each direction, one more right, and one more left. And then we can place the circle down, split the legs open, and we're just doing the saw without the circle here. So taking your arms out to the side, you probably happen to see the end of it for one exercise. Inhale, and exhale, just grow a little taller there, so sorry, yeah, press down through your arms, lift your back ribs. Inhale, prepare, exhale, and saw to the right ankle. And to the left, good, so we're reaching past the little pinky toe, the backhand finger reaches up to the ceiling. Good. So feeling like you get that twist and forward bend, and then stacking the spine right up out of those grounded, stable hips. Good. Coming up for air in between each one, and letting that breath really rotate you far further around. Good job. Last one here to your left. Pick back up that magic circle for me. Place it into your palms and bend your knees. Again, we're ready to roll back down to the mat. So we inhale to reach the arms forward. Exhale, just imprint to chest lift. Put the magic circle, so imprint back down to chest lift position. Yep. And put the magic circle between your knees for me. And then you can lay your head down once you've done that. And your feet are hip distance apart. We're doing pelvic curl now with the magic circle between the knees. So at the warm-up, we had the circle in our hands. Here we're getting a little more challenging again. So find your neutral pelvis alignment. And then it's quite tricky because of the width of the circle to find parallel feet. So just try and see if you can get a sense of the parallel foot alignment too. Inhale, and then exhale, let's imprint and roll your spine up to your bridge position. Good. Find that closure right at the top of the thigh bones. Inhale at the top here, and then rolling the spine away from the throat. Good. Inhale to prepare again, and exhale to roll up. Good. So very tricky to figure out how wide the feet are going to go and the placement of the magic circle between the knees. Just trying to get that sensation of ability to close more proximally than having a feeling of the distal knees controlling the adduction. Pressing down through the back of the arms. Beautiful job. Eye gaze directly up to the ceiling. Good job. Last time. And rolling back down. Good. Hinge at the hip joints to lift the 2 feet up off the ground, reach forward and move the circle to the ankles. So circle's going to go between the ankles. Keep the legs to the tabletop. Let's breathe and lower the head back down, Suze, arms overhead. And exhale, let's curl forward and reach the 2 legs long out into the 100 position. Interlace the hands behind the head, keep the legs out long. Exhale, let's squeeze the circle. Inhale, release. It really just got real right now. This is a difficult exercise. Keep feeling the top of the thighs pull together. If the hands behind head is too strong, reach those arms forward. If we need to bend those knees, do that. Feel the top of the thighs almost roll in slightly to help close the legs up. Really deepen into your chest lift for last 2. So this is our magic circle supine number 2. Last one. Good. And carefully, let's tap the toes back down and roll yourself over onto your right hand side, keeping the magic circle between the ankles. All right, lovely. So we're going to start now with the magic circle adduction. So really challenging because we've done a lot of adduction so far, but now we're in our sideline position. Stacking your two hip joints, stacking your armpits and shoulders, and feeling already a sensation of close and connect at the top of the legs. Exhale, press the top leg down. Inhale to release, and exhale to press. And even though that bottom leg isn't lifting up off the mat, could you imagine that it's just as involved in the closure of the circle? The ASIS is slightly drawing up to the front ribs. You've got a lot of work down through that top hand to wrap the shoulder blades around the rib cage on both sides. Let's do 2 more, keeping the repetitions fairly low. And last one. Perfect. Now we're going to move the magic circle to the outside. Yeah, so that might take you a little longer than me assisting Susie. You had a little helper person at home. So reach up and pop the magic circle just above the malleolus bones at the outer part of the bottom shin here. And imagine that you're standing on the side blade edges of your feet, breathing. And breathe out, let's press upward into the resistance of the circle. Inhale to lower and exhale to press. So you want to think of almost having hundreds of magic circles going all the way up the sides of both legs, so that it's not just down here at your ankles and feet that push the circle, but all the way up, and that the waistband of your pants at the back feels like it's stretching really broad. So there's puffiness at the top waistband of the pants. Let's do 2 more there. This is probably a very welcome range of movement. And last one. Excellent. Now we're going to switch the circle back into the ankles for the sideline obliques. So yeah, I'll help you out there, Suze. Again, adjust yourself so that you're ready to roll. Let's bring the legs now slightly further forward off the hip line just to bias more into the front body work. So again, line up the back of the head, the back of the ribs, the back of the pelvis. That's all right. All right, so once you're comfy and ready to go, stacking those hips, you inhale, prepare. Exhale, first of all, squeeze the circle. Then lift the 2 legs up off the mat and lower. Inhale, release. So your exhale, you press the circle and raise. Inhale to lower and release. Exhale, press the circle, raise. Inhale, lower and release. So you want to make sure you get the press of the circle, that split second before the 2 thighs float up, and that you're trying to maintain the press on the circle as your 2 legs lift. Really hard to do. Well done. So keep the uplift of the sternum so that you're not tempted to curl forward and look down at your feet. That will greatly change the position of the hip alignment, which won't optimize your position as well or easily. Last one, I can see that that's working really hard. Beautiful. And then we can get rid of the magic circle and just pop it in front of you. Prop yourself up onto the heel of your right hand, ready for your side kicks. So keep the bottom leg straight for a greater challenge, or bending the knee underneath you if you need support. Exhale and kick forward, forward and back. And kick and back. So think of creating a large arc, not necessarily with your foot, but with the sitting bone of that top leg. And the underneath leg can anchor down, just like you were doing that magic circle adduction. Can you press the side of the hip down so it can be really load bearing as your stabilizer? Well done. Last 2, really press the thigh back in space, pretending that this air is thick like honey. And then we can lay all the way out long onto your side and take your magic circle and roll onto the opposite side to begin again. So Susie will do a little swivel, so she's still facing towards you. Starting with the magic circle, adduction. So laying out long. Good job. We're going to line up that arm as closely back in line with the ribs and hips as you can, as long as that shoulder is happy to be back that far. Take a moment to stack the hip joints, stack the armpits, and check that we're not rotating too far forward with the chest. Breathing in and exhale to press the magic circle. Inhale to release and exhale to press. Beautiful job. So imagine the two kneecaps pointing straight ahead in line with the toes. Good. And just because it's the top leg moving, let's remember to involve the bottom leg as well. Good. Let's do two more here, keeping the eye gaze directly ahead and the press of the arms around the ribs as well. Good, and then we're going to switch into the abduction now. So let's take it to the outside of the ankles, just above the malleolus ankle bones. All right, breath in to prepare and breathing out to press open the circle. Little release. And exhale to press. So oftentimes with the circle, there's not a great deal of visible change with the circle, and that's certainly not the point of the work. The resistance provides such a great amount of internal feedback that 1 millimeter of circle movement equates to a fireball internally. So you just want to be kind to your clients when you're using the magic circle and knowing how challenging it really does feel. Last two. And last one. So we take it now back into the ankles. Good. Legs slightly further forward for the sideline obliques. So breathe in to prepare. Breathe out. Find the closure on the circle. Lift. Inhale to lower. Release the circle. Exhale, press and lift. Inhale, lower, release. So don't forget to fully release the circle so that there's no tension before you go to press again. Because it's not ideal to have a constant pressure on it the whole time. You want to develop that lovely length in the muscles as well as the strength and tone, and finding the full range of movement in the relaxation phase as well as the strengthening, shortening phase. Yes, well done. So that should hopefully be working very strongly, not just the legs, but feeling how it feeds right up into the side body as well. Last one here. Beautiful. And then let's take the magic circle away, prop yourself up onto your underneath hand at the temple there. Good. Make sure you've got a little space and ready to kick. And not choose the same bottom leg as you had first side. Inhale to prepare, exhale, sweep, and inhale to press back, and sweep, and press back. So try to maintain really lovely and long through your two sides of waist, and feel the arc of the sitting bone, almost like the sitting bone connects to a pencil that's on the base of your heel, and you could draw a really lovely big arc with that sitting bone pencil that reaches out through your heel. Good job. When you press your thigh back, don't be afraid to really explore the going back sensation. Last one. And then release. Now, sorry to say, the magic circle becomes our friend again. Pick it up and lay on your tummy, and you're going to just pop the magic circle between your ankles. This is not an easy thing to do on your own. It is an exercise in itself, just getting the circle there. Then once you have it relatively comfy, the knees are bent and the hands are underneath your forehead. Your chest is still melting heavily down. You're trying to keep your feet relatively above your knees so your heels aren't coming too close to your bottom. Sitting bones going down into the back of your knees, and the sternum is really lengthening forward out through the hands. Now, here's our prone one remain really lovely and melted forward and down. That's a hard thing to do. 2 to go. Last one. Now, can you keep the sensation of the thighs lifted? Stretch the 2 legs out and bring the head and the hands up off the mat into a long back extension. Press the circle. Little release. Press the circle. So long stretch of the legs. Sitting bones going down, and the body is in a long, lovely dart position. In a way, having the chest lifted up feels like a great counterbalance for the legs in a way that the first exercise did not. Last 2, if you've still got it in you. Close up the top of the thighs. Last 1. Woo! We can bend the knees, reach back, take it out of the ankles, put the circle off to one side. Stretch the 2 arms out overhead for me. Good. And just have a feeling of creating the longest possible line that you can. Reach the sternum forward. Now we're going to just exhale and hover the arms at the back of the head and the legs up off the mat for me and start your swimming. So, goodness me, we should be really well connected through the back of the body after that. See if you can get that sensation of the legs kicking from the hip joint and the base of the bottom, keeping the knees nice and straight, the arms as narrow into the in line with the armpits as possible, the chin slightly drawn under so that the crown of your head can be really long. Let the arms continue down into the V of your back and continue down into the V of your front. 2 more breaths using the expansion of that breathing. Last time. And lower. Press back into rest pose. Now bring the hands right underneath the shoulders and push bottom back towards your heels. You deserve a little moment. That was tough. So feeling like the heaviness of the bottom onto the heels allows your spine to curl further forward and stretch out those fingertips like I'm reaching your fingernails to the front edges of your mat. Now 1 more breath. Good. Come forward into your all fours for me. Hands underneath shoulders, knees underneath your hips, and feel again the sense of length between the crown of the head and the tailbone. Press solidly the shoulder blades around the ribs and down through the hands. Stretch your right leg back, curling your toes under for front support. Stretch your left leg back and find a really solid front support position. Breathing and holding. Lining up your rib cage and your pelvis, reaching your sternum forward through the window of your shoulders, but pressing back through your heels and your big toes. Feeling a sense of buoyancy through the hips, but then go under with the sit bones that little bit extra and press more with the shoulder blades. Yes. Last 1 breath there. Excellent. Move your left hand into the center of that window between your hands. Now swivel and take your right arm up to the ceiling, turning into your side support, resting on the sides of your 2 feet. Breathing and closing up the top of the thighs. So if your hand is not quite in the right placement there for your shoulder, then see if you can give it a move. Can we really widen the upper back out through the hands on both sides? Good job. Just feeling a little more sense of uplift through the back ribs. And then can we come back around and find that front support position? Stay strong again, breathing and holding. Draw the chin under slightly so the crown of the head can reach further forward. Now the right hand comes to the center. We swivel around and we turn onto the sides of our feet. Breathing and holding. Sitting bones drawing down towards the feet gently. Well done. Trying to line up still the back of the ribs, the back of the pelvis. Good job. And that top arm can just come so it's in line with the shoulder joint. Well done. Come back around onto your front support position and lower down onto your knees for me. Good. Sit back onto your heels, crossing your ankles, and reach for your magic circle. Here comes teaser prep. So we could choose to do teaser prep today with the circle in the knees or the ankles or in the palms. We're going to choose the palms today. shoulders connected into the back. Breath in, breath out. Let's imprint and roll down. Inhale to come back up to that start position. And exhale and imprint. Good. So we're aiming to keep our thighs and our legs exactly the same. In reality, that's very, very hard to do. So you're only going to go back as far as you're able to get that pivot at your hip joint. So Susie's choosing to go all the way back. That works for her body today, but you might prefer to do a smaller range of movement that might actually help you to stay in your forward bending of your spine and find your hip disassociation. Let's do last one. Good. Excellent. And now let's tuck into a rolling like a ball and see if we can just do 1 or 2 rolling like a ball to end up standing up. Good. So that requires quite a lot of deep knee and hip flexion, so that can be tricky, one to work on. Standing series with the magic circle now. Feet hip distance apart. Let's take the arms out in front. So we're starting with a pressed front, which we did do in the warm-up, but we did it supine. So let's start with the ribs stacked over the pelvis and just back the body weight of your pelvis back. Yes, lovely. Inhale, prepare, exhale to press the circle. Little release. And exhale to press. So feeling that lovely idea of how the palms can connect you into the backs of the shoulders, and that the circle of the shoulder blades kind of swinging around the ribs allows you to almost feel this seatbelt effect through the front of the body. Yeah. So it's very, very challenging not to press the circle and sink back through the back ribs. Again, make the circle somewhere for your body to aim. Last 2 there. And last one, keep a slight pressure to the circle and raise the arms up overhead for the high, and then exhale to press. Inhale, release. So again, let's feel that the narrowing of the circle comes from higher up. So if Susie imagined magnets right here, and at the same time this lovely upswing of the upward rotation of the shoulder blades, so it's not an uplift of the shoulder joint itself, that will allow her to feel really, and I could feel the change right down into the center at the front, right down into the center at the back. So this V that we've spoken about. Yes. And let's swing the arms now back around behind you. Good. I might get you to turn to the side there, Sue, so we can see. So feet hip distance apart, the arms are nice and long. Now, you may or may not have that circle very far off your bottom at all. What is more important is the upright posture, rolling those collarbones back and feeling the down draw, almost like you're pushing the circle down to the ground from the mid-back. And then you can press on the exhale. Little release and press. And this again is another invisible Pilates exercise. To my eye, I can definitely see a whole lot of lovely closure and triceps work going on. But if I was to look at her magic circle, there is a very small range of movement there. This is a very challenging range of movement for most people, but so beneficial. So feel as if the shoulder blades gently close like curtains towards each other. The top of the arm bones can rotate in slightly there, and that will also help that adduction. Lovely work. Last 2. And she's really doing a great job because we're not seeing a change between rib cage and pelvis alignment as she presses, which is what we're looking for. And then let's take the magic circle to the side of the leg for the lat press. So depending on how long your arm is, we want to keep the shoulders square and take the circle as low down the hip as you have an outstretched arm. It's an inhale and an exhale to press. And release on the inhalation, exhale and press. Good. And it's tempting to press the circle and really down draw and shorten the waist and drop the shoulder on that side. But could you almost feel that the pressure of the circle allows you more length through the two sides of the waist and up under your armpits, as if there's fizzy bubbles right up under your armpits that uplift you. Last two there. Feeling the tip of the scapula dropping down to assist with that movement. Last one. And let's switch the circle over to the other side. Excellent. Hips are staying square. Let's breathe in and breathe out and press. Fabulous. So even though this long arm isn't doing the press of the circle, imagine now drawing down toward the floor with those fingertips, not from the top of the shoulder, but from that sensation of the shoulder blade, the tip of the shoulder blade going down the mid to lower back. Yes, very nice. And then you can mirror that sensation on the two sides of the body. Last two there. And last one. And we're going to bring the circle up for the bicep press now. So this one sits right in the crook of the shoulder, trying to find the square shoulder alignment again. And you'll experiment with how forward you bring that elbow. You need it to help give you the armpit facing forward, but then also challenge pressing the elbow back slightly. Exhale and press the circle. Inhale, release. Exhale and press. So this one is a movement from the elbow joint and your upper arm is staying the same. We're getting that lovely sensation of turnout through the top of the arm bone. And here again, the shoulder blade is in upward rotation, so it's swinging around and then reaching out through that supporting elbow there. Last two. Good job, maintaining that upright postural alignment the whole time and switch to the other side now. Okay, so work on how far forward you need to have that elbow so the armpit faces the front. And we exhale and press. Inhale, release. Exhale and press. So feeling like the back of the ribs and the back of the pelvis really line up. Reaching tall through the crown of your head. Fantastic. And at the same time, grounding down through your hips and legs. So as the circle presses and the resistance increases, again, can you use it to decompress the spine and the body? And the compression goes into that shoulder work to close the joint where it's needed and give most support. Last two. And let's pop the circle down to the ground. Excellent. Sorry, so just bring it off your mat. Yeah, turn to face me. And you're going to step your right leg right back, ready for standing lunge. Arms come out to the sides. So you want a nice big lunge so that when you go to bend, your front knee is relatively over your ankle. You're going to inhale to bend your front knee and exhale straighten. Inhale to bend and exhale straighten. One more. Inhale to bend and exhale straighten. Now you're going to bend your front knee, hinge at your hips, take your two hands down either side of your front foot and stretch your front leg. And just breathing and holding for 3 to 5 breaths with the two legs straight, squaring the hips and feeling your thighs really pulling up high into the back of the pelvis and then the spine falling forward and around into the legs. Good, this hip can come back a little more. This is, yeah. Beautiful. And now bend into your front knee, maintaining the square hip line. Take your two arms out to the sides and then lift your chest up and then spring off that front foot to step back. Whoop. And then step the other leg forward. Good. Two arms out to the side, find your balance, find your alignment. Perfect. Both legs parallel. Inhale, bend your front knee. And exhale, straighten. So imagine that you are a pony on a merry-go-round and you're thinking more up and down with your standing lunge rather than forward and back. 3 Use the breath to really ease opening into that stretch. And then let's bend into your standing leg, arms out to the sides. See if you can spring yourself back. Good, and then step to the center of the mat. Feet hip distance apart, ready for your roll down to finish. Breath in. And breath out, let's cascade forward and down. Keeping the pelvis over the ankles and letting the pelvis rotate around the legs. And then draw the sitting bones down to the floor to start the stack back upright. Inhale, grow tall again. And exhale, let's curl forward and down. Going up and over the waistline. Good. Breath in, tailbone to ceiling, and breath out, draw the sitting bones down into the back of the thighs. One more time. Just really noticing how loose but connected you feel, how tall but grounded you feel, and how that magic circle has really given you that sensation of internal awareness. Let's raise up onto the balls of your toes, lifting your two arms. And exhale to lower, last time there, and lift. And lower. So there is your progressive level program using the magic circle. Perhaps take yourself through that a couple of times, and then why not practice teaching that to some of your friends and family too.